Hey guys, welcome back. This is the Evil Within Nightmare difficulty playthrough. This is chapter 5, Inner Recesses. And I think this is quite a spooky one in comparison to the last one, because we're going to be down in this hospital, which is all quite a bit darker than what we've been used to, and we're going to be encountering that invisible enemy that we encountered at the end of the last mission. That's an explosive bolt. So we've got another save point here, and it's more just about his life, which again, this is kind of interesting. I don't mind these notes. It tells a bit about Sebastian, which the game doesn't really reveal to us through itself, because Sebastian's a character I kind of like. He's a weird one because there's not much characterization in the game itself, but I think he is an interesting protagonist. I just think he is portrayed a bit bland. But there is more going on than meets the eye. I think they did a great job with him in the second game. They kind of just expanded on what they needed to.
It's been a while since you were...
So there's no newspaper this time. Ah, it's here, isn't it? But I was just thinking about the story actually in this game. Particularly what the monsters represent. Because it's all in the model viewer that you get once you finish the game. And it does make for interesting reading. It's not the most original thing, like the idea, because we're in this machine stem, so it's all just the thoughts and feelings of those that have been connected to the machine. Can we go through here? Yep. In fact, I might go around and use some of my keys, see what's in them. Like all the monsters are basically, they all represent something. Not so much the basic haunted, the zombies. They're kind of just the people that were connected to stem, and we're like lost in there basically. Which is funny because I think they're called the Lost in Evil Within 2. But it's not, I say, it's not that original. It's a weird one, but I do kind of like it. I just wish the game had explored it more in game itself. Is that a key? That's a troll, isn't it? If I ever saw one. That is some flash bolts, 3 of them. What does this provide us? And some green gel, which is nice. We'll open this one. Might as well open them so we know what we've got, just in case. 2 syringes. I mean, I'm sure we don't need that, do we? Yeah, we've got enough here. I say it gives me big Silent Hill 2 vibes, but it's interesting. I just wish the game had explored it a bit more. I mean, it's not an easy thing to do, because if you just tell the player, oh, the sadist represents Ruvik's anger and how he read about a serial killer and that's what it comes from, it's not. That'd be quite redundant, I think, to the player. You've got to kind of like figure it out on its own. I'm sure it's a better way to do it than just a model viewer, but it's just a shame the game never portrayed that within the game itself. It could have been a bit more interesting. Anyway, let's have a look here. I might do the flashbolts actually, because 10 seconds, that's quite a long time to stun people. So yeah, we'll definitely take that. Stock. Could we do more agony? I mean, we've nearly fully upgraded that anyway. Grenades, matches, we're alright. Yeah, might as well upgrade them. I mean, look at that, you can have 30 matches. 30 matches? That's insane. That's ridiculous. I'm still in the mindset of someone who only ever had 5 for an entire playthrough. So that's just mad to me. Could do with upgrading some damage, couldn't we? Range could be helpful. Reload time. Oh, that's very useful actually. Yeah, definitely upgrade that. Damage. Yeah, should we get the shotgun more powerful? Critical. I feel like the pistol's got a decent critical already, but let's upgrade it. Yeah, critical is basically the head just explodes on just a normal shot. It was something in Resident Evil. Also, clip capacity, yeah, that could definitely help. We'll leave it there. That's a decent amount of points spent. That doesn't shave off a lot of time, that I must say. Can we upgrade stock? I think we'll leave it. So that'll do us for now. In fact, we're going to save again because I don't want to lose all that upgrades. I've already made that mistake once. But yeah, with the plot, it's certainly a lot more interesting than what's going on with Resident Evil. The ones that Shinji Mikami made, I'm talking about, which is the first one. I mean, the standards of the industry were different back then. You know, it was 1996, so, you know, dodgy scientist group Umbrella makes zombies for no discernible reason. That kind of, you were allowed to do that in the 90s. Not so much now. People actually expect a plot. So there we go, chapter 5. And yeah, it's going to get all a bit weird because we're just going to hear a lot of noises. Is this person dead? Yeah, I think they are. But yeah, this is quite an unsettling section because we're going to hear like a lot of noises and stuff, and it's going to... Oh. Yeah, stuff like that. There's not actually anybody there, but it does mess with you on your first time through. Yep. Yeah, I wasn't entirely sure that happened, but someone told me it. Got some memory of this game. Let's knock down this door. And I was thinking about Evil Within 2 actually the other night after I'd played chapter 4. And the Evil Within 2, like, I think the Evil Within 2 is definitely a better game in terms of how it works. There's not that jankiness from the first game. I'm just waiting for an invisible enemy because I know there's one in this level. Oh, can you see it? Or is that just a normal... Hang on, I'll interrupt my tangent here. It's not reacting. Can't really see because of that like dust. I assume it's dust. We'll come back for him if this thing gets out of the way. But yeah, the Evil Within 2 is like, you know, it works a lot better. But there's definitely something I prefer about this game. Ah, yeah, he's invisible. I knew it. Okay, well no, because he'll move this stuff. There, you see him? There we go. Oh no! Oh, I got a bit stuck then. Like stuff like that in the second game, I wouldn't have to crouch to do the stealth thing. That seems really weird. I don't know why the game has that. Like you have to be crouched to do a melee execution. It seems weird. This room always freaks me out. Yeah, let's just get out of here. No interest in that room. Huh? Oh, it's green gel. As I say, it does everything that this game should have done in terms of how it works. But I think I still prefer this game. Some of the jank, and I think this game has a lot more variety. Like, there's always, like this mission here, we're encountering... I know it's not a new enemy, we met him last mission, but the game's going to rely on this invisible enemy for a bit. But after this, I don't think you're going to see him again. And I love that. I love enemy variety. You know, the Sadist and the Keeper, they don't show up too often, but you remember them because they're so iconic. The Evil Within 2 is a lot more simple with its enemy design, and its locations as well. You know, it's very suburban, which is... There is a plot reason for that, but...
Looks like I have to get down.
This game is changing location every 5 seconds and being a lot more dreamlike. It makes it just a bit more interesting. I mean, honestly, this game could be as good as Resident Evil 4 if it just worked. That's honestly my main takeaway with it. A lot of it at times it just doesn't work and it's a bit janky. It has all the hallmarks of a game that clearly needed more time and development. And it probably wouldn't have even needed that much longer. I'm just curious for an enemy around here. This is a very unsettling enemy to deal with. Excuse me. So yeah, they're both... It's a series that definitely could have a special entry, I think, if they had some time really devoted to a third game. You know, be the Uncharted 2 to it, you know, so to speak. I know it's a redundant example at this point, but they don't usually get better examples of a sequel done right than Uncharted 2. Let's see here. I hear it. He's right there. Yeah. The laser, I'm going to call it the laser, the targeting for the crossbow's quite useful at seeing these guys. I think they always drop green gel, which is nice. Let's craft some more flash bolts. Should help us out a bit. So, let's see here. Can hear it. It's a fantastic enemy, this, because it's quite fair. Because there are ways of detecting him, and they've put a lot of beds here and like trays and stuff, so you will. hear him. That's just the train moving. The first time going through this, I was very tense. Thankfully, I'm not perfect in where they come from, but I've got a decent... I've done it before, so I know what's coming kind of thing. I love that. Sebastian, I mean, he didn't use his fist there, but he'll use his fist to just smash glass, but he can't really do much to an actual zombie. I remember one in it. Oh, you see him then? You can kind of see the outline of him. There's probably a more efficient way of dealing with these guys, but... I suppose what you could do is you could lure them back to the enemy you just took out and use the match to like burn them when they come close, but you've got to have a good understanding of how close the enemy is for that. And you're also relying on detection, which, as I've discussed many times, is not this game's strong point. At least this game has one thing better than Resi 4, and that is there's no like prompts during cutscenes. You know, no silly quick time events. There is silly stick waggling, which I hate, because I don't like destroying my controller just to get out of an enemy grab. And that's fun, that's what I want to talk about, because I was playing Metal Gear Rising again the other day, because I've not played it since I played like Devil May Cry, and I was curious at if that improved me a lot. And I understood combos a lot better and pause combos and all that, but I forgot how egregious some of the design is in that game. So we got the key card, if you're wondering, to get through the door that was blocking us off, that you didn't see because I didn't go to it. But yeah, like, you get hit by some enemies in this stun ride, and then you have to like whack the stick. You know, I have to destroy my controller that I spent a large amount of money on to just to get free of an enemy's grab, and I'm not a fan of that design. There we go. That's just gut feeling, that, to be fair. Obviously I knew that enemy was coming through the door, but that's probably a more ideal way of dealing with this enemy. See, that's when the game works like that, it's beautiful, and I rate it so highly. Just there are so many times where it doesn't, and because this is a playthrough and not a walkthrough, you are going to see a lot of that jank at times. It's like with the letterbox, and I do wonder about the letterboxing choice. Anything coming? No. I wonder if it's a concession for the frame rate, because when you... No? I feel like I can hear something. I think I'm good. I'm good. Here we go. I think there's still going to be more of these freaks. But yeah, when you turn the letterboxing off on a standard PS4 and you see the frame rate, it's truly awful. And I remember when the game first came out, people on PC were turning off the letterboxing through mods. There's Ruvik. He's not going to attack us or anything. And the frame rate just died even on really powerful PCs. And I think the letterboxing, sure they'll say it's for a filmic look or whatever, but I do think it's for frame rate concessions. And I wouldn't have such a problem with the letterboxing if it didn't hamper some of the prompts. Like sometimes you can't see prompts on the floor for matches and stuff, it cuts them off. But I'm making do with it at the minute. And this is an interesting section, but this is what I mean, you don't get anything this kind of cool and messed up in the second game, for lack of a better term. As we see, I don't think there's anything as compelling quite as Ruvik. Like, Ruvik is quite a compelling guy, they don't spend a lot of time on him. I mean, as I said, I like Evil Within 2's narrative because it's a lot more personal to Sebastian. I remember this. I can't remember the secrets of this though now. Is there like audio logs? I'm just gonna make a choice, I guess. I may die here, but... Oh! If you're wondering, yeah, that's what all these holes are for. Get the wrong one. There must be a clue here that I'm missing, 'cause I can't just guess lucky the times I've always done it. Ah, I see it there. There you go. Yeah. Quite simple, but still very tense. There's nothing that, you know, quite gets the blood pumping, quite like spikes underneath you. I think what's going on here, and this is just my own interpretation, but I imagine we're just seeing Ruvik, you know, how he experimented on, not experimented, but, you know, dissections and all that, and his, like, growth, because obviously you can see he's a different age there, isn't he? Nice, yeah, I remember this one, because I need to listen to this, actually, so I'll go a bit quiet here. Let's see.
Simulation of subject's consciousness. Initial symptoms: sharp pain and brainstem at centered on insertion point, followed by gradual onset of hemorrhaging as capillaries dilate. Over time, degradation of the ego generates strong suicidal tendencies.
Lovely stuff.
They lose who they are and become clay, completely reshapeable in my image. But not me. Something keeps me from staying completely within.
The evil within. No, that was lame. Let's have a look here. Let's check. I don't want to be an absolute doylem. There you go. It's like the stem-like thing. I mean, they were both a bit stem-like, but that one like had a dot in the middle. Oh, was it that one on the right? It was, wasn't it? Fingers crossed. Oh, I think I'm gonna die every time. I think I could do this section literally 200 times and I'd still like get like goosebumps. Lovely collection of all the blood. Can we leave now, or is that? Is there one more? Yeah, there's one more. Rule of 3, of course. Let's have a look here. But I love the brain imagery and everything, and even the cover of like on your PS4, it like shows a brain with like locations in it. It's a cool motif that the game commits to. And the Evil Within 2's front cover had a lot of like so it's that symbol we're looking for, isn't it? The Evil Within 2 had like, the cover had like Sebastian covered by white goo, and I thought white goo would play a bigger part in the game, and this is just the best word I've got for it. Like, it's a bit more to it than white goo. Is it 3 or is it 4? It's 3. But the game didn't really play around with that whole like motif of like this white blob until the very end, which is kind of disappointing. I thought it'd be a bit more of a thing. He lies, blah 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 blah. Laura is not dead. Oh, believe me, son, I know about that. And that's something I didn't mention actually. I didn't mention Laura last mission. If you're wondering what Laura is basically just like her monster design is just Ruben's like thought process of like, is this? I don't know what's happening right now. Can't really remember. This is what I mean though. It's so dreamlike and weird. It's just it's Ruben's perception of what happened to Laura, the torture and like her own death and the vengeance that Ruben feels over what happened to her. Because I think she had quite a brutal. I think they were simply killed by like some farmers or something. I think it was like the workers of Ruben's dad who wasn't happy. They were taking his land or whatever. It was something like that.
Joseph.
There's our good friend Joseph. Just having a bath, mate. I don't know what the big issue is.
Thank God you're okay.
I don't know what I am, but it's definitely not okay.
That's what I say about this guy's AI. We're gonna have a few rants on Joseph when we get playing with him.
Jesus, what happened? My head feels like... Do you hear that?
We need to get out of here. Can you move?
So we're gonna be rocking with Joseph for a little bit,
Joseph.
despite him freaking out. I'm going to be introduced to the heal mechanic, I think. Which, for all my faults with Joseph, thankfully healing him takes nothing off us. Some games would be like, ooh, use your own syringes on the guy. But no, thankfully it's not that cruel, I'll be honest. That's the way we came, wasn't it? In fact, look, Sebastian doesn't like that door. But
Let's
yeah,
get out of here fast.
Joseph has some... What's the best word for it? Completely retarded AI, that's it. There's a trophy in this game for like getting through this section, I think, without Joseph taking any damage. And that is probably the hardest trophy in the game. Do the game on Akumu, easy. I wasn't expecting that. Is he dead? Yeah. Do the game on Akumu, easy. Yeah, do it in under 5 hours speedrun, easy. Stop Joseph from taking any damage, impossible. Hell. Oh, I was just mashing X then. Sebastian's just a madman, he just loves opening things. We've got a big pool of fire here. So let's go wake up the patients. Just let her know we're here. So hopefully Joseph's not going to be too retarded here. But look at him go. I mean, fair play to him, he is going for it, but still. There we go, that's nice. But we can use this fire here, which is very useful, so I'm going to do that. But just then, you know, that enemy could have grabbed me. That's how weird this game is at times. Thankfully it worked. But that fire is very powerful. I could have, like, not even used a shotgun shell there, but I'm rocking with enough at this point. And I was wondering about this, because, you know, we're talking about Resident Evil, and Resident Evil 4, this perfect game. And for the sequel, they decided to make it co-op. And we all know this is definitely because of Gears of War. It was definitely not the intention. You know, the intention for that game was always just meant to be Chris Redfield on a one-man mission into Africa searching for Wesker, which would have been really awesome, I think. I mean, the co-op isn't the biggest sin of Resi 4. I mean, sorry, Resi 5. Resi 5 just has a lot of garbage game design. And just doesn't work as well as Resi 4. Because to be quite frankly, nothing does. Oh, that guy was dead anyway. I had a feeling he'd come to life for some reason. But, I mean, I was wondering, can you really do a horror game co-op, and would it still be scary? I think the minute you throw someone else in the mix, a game loses its horror. I just think that's just the way it is. I don't know, maybe it's doable. I mean, Until Dawn developers, they kind of played around with the idea of Man of Medan, which I played recently with a friend, and the game was a disappointment, has to say. But I don't know if it was because of the horror. I mean, there was times I was getting a bit spooked. You know, it's not as scary as Until Dawn because you have got another person with you. But I mean, the bigger, you know, the reason I was disappointed with that game was more it's very underwhelming story. The problem was we guessed the twist within 10 minutes of what was going on. And I think the problem was because we had a friend and I could discuss that with someone. It was so easy to work out. I probably wouldn't have worked it out on my own straight away. But food for thought. I don't know. Can you do a co-op horror game and it still be horror?
Why would they put a bomb?
I don't think you can do it in the style of Resident Evil because Resident Evil's action.
Stand back. Let me see if I can.
Like even this right now, this isn't as scary as before because I've now got a partner with me. Is that an umbrella symbol? No, it looked like an umbrella symbol. It's the Beacon Mental Hospital. I've just realised how much it looks like the Resident Evil symbol. Umbrella symbol, sorry, on that jar. But this is a section. Yes, it is a section. It's a funny one, this, if it's what I think it is. Have we got a bit more to go first?
What is it with this sound? I thought it was something electronic.
I don't remember this yet. If this was Resi 4, this would definitely have button prompts in it. That was the thing with that game, you couldn't put the controller down and like watch a cutscene like this. You had to be constantly aware, because the game would just say, press square to dodge. And if you didn't, next thing you know, Leon's got his head ripped off.
Joseph, after
The last two games I've played have had characters just with nosebleeds all the time. I was just playing Bioshock Infinite and that keeps happening to Booker. And that game's already done me in. I've gone from one tear to the next thing I know we're in a different reality.
Look, let's just get out of here.
I know I'm late to the
There's
party on
something
Bioshock
wrong with this
Infinite.
place.
I know it did come out in 2013,
Yeah.
but it's still messing with me, and I'm actually having a lot of fun with it. And I didn't think I was going to actually. But let's come up here, and there's a section with Kidman, I believe, which is a big pain. It's quite fun. It's a moment where if Joseph wasn't there with stupid AI, it'd actually be a lot of fun. It'd be very akin to Resident Evil Mercenaries, but no, we've got to have some idiot called Joseph with us. And this is not me ranting about anybody called Joseph, if you're wondering. Right. Got a save point here. We might as well save, haven't we? Because I'm aware of the hell that is coming up.